Today we are going to discuss a product management concept called as jobs to be done. So this is a simplified explanation using case studies wherein we will be discussing two case studies, and then we will be going into the concept and then follow up by one example that what exactly is jobs to be done. I am Aishu Mishra. I am currently working as a senior product manager. Right, so let's get started. So this is the case study one. So long ago, McDonald wanted to innovate milkshakes. So what they did essentially, since they had a ample of data, they interviewed multiple customers and based upon those feedback, created a product out of it. Right. However, this product failed miserably. Why? Because the people did not like it. There were too many complications, and hence the product failed. Now, what McDonald's did? They hired a consultant to solve this problem. The consultant sat in front of the McDonald and observed people who were buying shakes based on their age, gender, whether they were coming alone or not, at what time are they coming, right? So these were the things that was being evaluated by this person who was sitting in front of the McDonald. So after sitting for 18 hours a day for about 7 to 8 days, they were able to collate all the data and found some very interesting insights that we are going to talk about. So what they found that most of the milkshakes, about 90% of the milkshakes were sold before 8:30 p.m. And since the profiling was also done basis on whether they were coming alone or what was their gender, so they found that most of the users or most of the people who are consuming milkshake came alone, purchased, and drove in a car, right? And they were coming somewhere around 6:30 a.m. or 7 a.m. in the morning itself. Now, these consultants were very surprised and astonished that what is this phenomena. So what they did, they stood in front of those users the next day and asked them that why exactly are you buying this milkshake? These customers were perplexed. So the consultant tweaked this question and asked that what is the job to be done, right? Or if not milkshake, right? Then what else did they buy? Now they interviewed four people, and all four had their different job to dos. Right? One person said that they bought donuts but never purchased it alone. So he used to purchase it in multifold, two, three, four, which was somewhere unhealthy for him. The other person said they purchased burger, but while driving they were required to put a ketchup on that and hold the steering wheel. The third person said that I tried Snicker but felt guilty after eating it. The fourth person said, for my driving, I eat banana. However, it is so quick that I finish off being hungry by the end of this trip. So, after evaluating all these four personas and interviewing multiple people, what the consultant found out was this was the generic statement of all the customers who were purchasing this milkshake. So what they said that I love purchasing milkshake because it is viscous first of all and last throughout the ride, making me feel full when I reach workplace at 10 a.m. and something which helped me to pass my time. So what was essentially happening over here? There is a user, right? Now this user in the early morning has to go somewhere around 2 to 3 hours journey. Okay. Now in this 2 to 3 hours journey, he needs something which he would drink first of all. Second, it it helps him to time pass, right? And third, at the end of trip, this person right here does not feel hungry, right? So this was the job to be done that the consultants identified. Now, once they implemented this, they found that not only the competition is in terms of the milkshake, but it is coming from donuts, it's coming from markets like banana, etc., etc. So the McDonald's started working on identifying the needs, the wants, and hence they were able to grow their sales by 7x. Right. So this is the first part of the case study wherein we identified that who are the different users and what was the job that they were trying to fulfill while purchasing a product. Correct. With this said, let's move to the case study 2. Now, John is a product manager who loves creating products and he has to create product. So one day his boss calls him and gives him a persona based upon female as a gender and certain income range. And John has to create a product for this specific user type. Okay. So John, as a diligent work employee and as a good product manager, works day in and day out. Right, this is the John who is working day in and day out, sleeping in the office itself, and creating a product around around a persona which is female and falls into a certain income range. Now, what happens? John takes it to the users who were women from certain income group. However, it failed. Why? Because simply having who as a user does not answer first why the user would need it, right? And second is how would they use it, right? Hence, this product fails. This is the scenario one that we are talking about in which John failed. Now, John took a lesson out of it and started working more and more. And hence, this comes to scenario two, right? So John failed his in first approach. Now, a very excited John, trying to create a successful product, went to the engineering team and told them, please create a product which is very, very attractive in terms of its UI, UX, has ample of feature, right? Now, the tech team had to do it and they created a best in class features for his users, a multitude of colors, different kind of functionalities, group chats, and whatnot. However, this failed again. Why? Because this time, since it was a very unidirectional perspective to create a product, right? The users became furious that this is a very complex flow. How would be able to identify that what is the value that it is creating and what has been the task that we have to do? And second, even if some users were using it, they were using it with manuals. Hence, the whole process was very complicated in nature, and John failed ultimately in scenario two also, right? So what is the learning in scenario 2? That without talking to the user, just injecting the feedback from the engineering team plus the product manager does not yield a good product, right? So hence scenario 2 also failed. Now, John, again, since he was a very good product manager, he did not bog down. And this time, John contacted all the users that he had, right? These were women, okay, falling in certain income range, had tried his product also, and also new users, right? And what did John do essentially? He talked to each one of them, jotted down their feedbacks, each and every one of them, and gave it again to the engineering team that, guys, please, this time I have all the feedbacks from my customers. I have jotted each and every one of them. I cannot fail. And engineering team By the nature of their job, they had to do, and they essentially did. It took money, it took time, but they essentially did. Now again, John took this product to these users and it failed. Why? Because there were too many feedbacks. Okay. Second, with too many feedbacks, this became too complicated. Correct? So John failed in scenario 1, scenario 2, and scenario 3. So our product manager John till now is very distressed. He is very sad that his products have been failed. So one day John became worried and he started thinking more and more on how to do this product and how to build this successful product. So kudos to John for that. But we will eventually come to a solution that will help John, right? So in between that, let's see a scenario, right, wherein John gets a call from his wife that she tells John to come quickly because his children are hungry. Because they have gone for a soccer match, right, and hence she was not able to cook, right. Now John, while going back to his home from office, saw a beautiful restaurant where his wife and him used to come and spend the days before wedding. Right now, this was a pizza house as well. So he went to this pizza house, ordered 5 pizzas for the children to eat. So what he did, he went and gave this pizza to his children and to his wife. He gave 4 pizzas to his children to devour, and they were eating very happily. And rest he took one and recollected those moments that he essentially spent with his wife in this specific restaurant. Now, if you see, there are two jobs to be done by John, this person, right? One is quickly feeding his children, and second is spending quality time with his beloved wife like old times. So these are the job one and job two. Had it been some other restaurant or had it been some other place he would have romanticized with his wife, the things would have been different. However, there were two different jobs and there was one product. And what was it? It was the shop, or it was this restaurant wherein he essentially not only took the pizza for his children but also recollected the memories. So guys, these are the jobs to be done, or the needs that have to be fulfilled for a user. Correct. Now, since John was a very good product manager, he contemplated and then he realized that yes, he has been wandering around demography, features, right, feedbacks, etc., etc., etc. However, there was only one thing that has to be done. That he has to ask this customer that what is the job you're trying to do with this product or any other product, right? And John essentially did that. He interviewed again those women, those ladies, and was surprised to see that not only his product was satisfying the needs of the current market that he has thought of, but also some other things also, right? One we discussed in the case of McDonald's, wherein milkshake was not only a competitor of milkshake in his category, in this category, but of donuts, of banana, of burger, right? Or of Snickers. So in the very same scenario, the product that was essentially trying to do the job was not only used for this job per se, but it was being used for job one, job two, job three. And essentially, John realized it and he started creating successful products and John now is working as an associate director and is very happy in his life. So this is the happy ending for John. So guys, till now we discussed one thing in those two case studies, that getting the feedback is sometimes right, but asking the right set of questions is more important. Why do you need this product will not work, but for what purpose do you need this product? Correct. These are the questions that has to be asked by a product manager in order to make a successful product, right? Now coming to the theory part of it, that what is job to be done framework, right? The job to be done framework involves understanding the needs and wants of your users, identifying the unmet needs. I'm highlighting this, that needs which are unmet till now. In case of John, there were different women who were trying to do job one, but their needs were unmet till now, right? And then thinking of a solution that aligns with the job and user is ultimately trying to accomplish, right? So once again, simply asking customer directly what do you want does not work, because then the user might want 10 other things, right? And as famously quoted by Henry Ford, who is the father of modern production, who has created Ford Model T, he famously said that if I had asked customers what they wanted, they would have told me faster horses. And why? Because they were thinking within the limits of current technology. However, what Henry Ford did, he created a car which was called T19, and till date it is the most successful production Ford has ever done, right? So, what? So, just to reiterate, that rather than asking customers what they want, the product manager, so we should focus on understanding the jobs they want to accomplish using the product, right? Let's take an example. Okay, supposedly you need to buy a car. Okay, so if you go to buy a car, you go to that specific dealership and you see there are multiple features. The features one is sunroof, then there is feature two, which is audio system, then there would be feature of ambient lighting, right? Then there would be XYZ features. However, these are only features. The scenario two that we talked about, right, wherein no, the features somehow failed the product. So these are the features. Had it been a standalone and doing nothing, would you have purchased it? Mostly no, right? However, if I translate it in terms of the jobs to be done, so sunroof, what is the emotional job it is doing? Traveling with a family while enjoying the open sky. That is the job that sunroof is doing. What is the social need of an audio system? Enjoying with friends on loud music, right? So these are the different jobs to be done, which are satisfied and which are the needs which are essentially satisfied and done by these features, right? So how can you use job to be done framework as a product manager? Never ask a customer what do you need, because then you will have multiple feedbacks, feedback 3, feedback 4, and you will essentially waste your time in prioritizing these features, and ultimately they would fail, right? Rather, what should you ask? What is the job that your user is trying to do with your product? Maybe he's trying to accomplish a task using a product. That task could have been done by other product also. Maybe there is a task two, which your product one is satisfying, which was not thought in your edge cases or your use cases. So always, guys, ask that what job is your user trying to do with your product, right? This not only creates a successful product, but also develops empathy so that you can create more user-centric product. Great. So guys, we discussed two case studies. We delved into the concepts of jobs to do, and how as a product manager you can implement this specific framework and this specific philosophy in your workday life. So thanks for reading till this end, and thanks for being here till the end. I am Ashu Mishra, who was hosting this session, and learn something new every day, because there are many, many things which are there in the world which are to be learned and which will perhaps make you a better person and a better thinker. Thanks a lot.